Hello, I'm Sarah the Gallifreyan Ravenclaw. So this looks like it's starting to become a habit of I do a video every year apologising for the fact I've disappeared for the last year, promise all these big things and then I vanish again. This isn't that because I did say last year I pretty much was going to disappear. I said that long videos would be very rare and that I was prioritising keeping polls going out and keeping these shorts going out every Friday, which I have managed to do that entire time period. So I haven't disappeared. I have done what I promised. I have throughout that time had a billion issues with my setup. I just had technical issues even pressing go now. I've had all sorts of things like the picture frame. That one has gone completely. No, it is that way. Like my picture frames, there was a third one there. If anyone knows what to Google to be able to buy the hooks that you attach to the picture frames rather than the picture hooks you put on a wall, let me know because it broke. And I've been so busy that my room's become a bit of a tip. So I've had a lot of issues with the setup, not to mention technical things. So I spent a lot of time doing more planning stuff on doing the videos rather than actually recording some. So I've got a lot more lined up. So this is sort of a what I've got planned, and yes, lots of this is stuff I've promised before. So I'm also saying I haven't forgotten. It is still lined up. And there will be a bit of a life update as well in this. So I'll start with the one that's fairly obvious that it went missing because it was part 2 of the Harry Potter sorting characters video. I filmed it, I think it was April last year, so April 2024. It is now June 2025 and that video still hasn't gone up, which says a lot. As you're aware, there were a number of issues with part 1 of, like, it took me ages to edit because multiple devices, because my computer was not functioning at the time. So I was trying to record all the bits on different devices and then it took ages to edit because my computer was so rubbish. And then I decided to chop it into 2 parts, literally just because the recording had reached an hour. I needed a break. So I did a second part. And at the end of the second part, I noticed that lots of people were missing. I had the load of characters, and it just, for some reason, on my tablet had like given up at 200 or whatever number it had picked. It was just missing like the bottom 50 people. So I said at the end of that video I would be back with part 3. To this day, I have not recorded part 3. I would now have to go on, watch the video, and put them all in. So I'd sort of decided I wouldn't put part 2 out until I knew how long part 3 was, because if it was only like 10-15 minutes, I could probably just tack it on the end of part 2 rather than making it its own part. So I was never planning on putting it out until I'd made part 3. I still haven't made part 3 because partly I've not recorded many videos, partly it will take me ages, partly my opinions have probably changed anyway on some of the other characters. I have actually got a few notes of I now think that I put people in the wrong category when I've been looking at what I put for the polls. And so I've never actually finished editing part 2. I did start editing it about a year ago, but I never actually finished editing it. So essentially, I'm now just going to put that on hold. I might put part 2 up at some point, but I'm probably not going to record part 3. I'd be more likely to re-record the entire thing, do it again, hopefully slightly shorter, so it won't be 2 hours doing the entire thing, but I probably will just do it from fresh now. I also mentioned I was doing polls with those because I was putting polls out of which of the 5 categories would you put them in. And at about the same time, YouTube changed it so you could no longer have 5 options, which I'm sure you've seen me complain about in my posts. So I didn't really know what to do with the poll series, and that sort of then got rid of the need to put the other one out. And then I got busy, and that whole thing just became a mess. And so I probably will just put part 2 out at some point with I'll redo this later, but it's not exactly my top priority to edit it right now. But part 2 is still recorded. I will probably edit it at some point. I am now actually returning to those polls. I've decided that I've waited long enough to see if YouTube are going to re-add the ability to do 5, and it's been long enough that I'm now fairly certain they won't. So I am just going to continue it with not putting the option that I think is the least likely one people are going to go for. So that will generally be either main, the top category, or nobody, the bottom category, depending on the character. If it's like Hermione, nobody is going to vote that she's a nobody. So I don't need to include that. But if it's somebody who they meet on the night bus, I'm not going to put that they're main because they're someone that is in one chapter in 7 books. So I'm going to balance it out by I sort of know which option no one's going to vote for anyway, so I'm going to cut that one. So those are now going to return. So if you have noticed that those polls have been missing, that's simply for that reason. I literally have the list of what order I was putting people out in, so that's just going to start again now. So other videos I've been promising for a while. I said a very long time ago, I think when I did my Ghosts final series review, that I was going to review US Ghosts once I'd finished the first series. I think I probably mentioned it when I did my series 4 or 5 review. That still stands. I will do a review or comparison or something once I finish the first series. I watched about 10 episodes 2 years ago and haven't watched one since, so technically I've still done what I said. I just haven't actually watched any episodes in 2 years. So I will at some point finish the series and do. It will probably be more like a which version's better and comparing them than a series review of the first series of US Ghosts, because I'm not sure how many are actually on iPlayer now. I'm pretty sure at least 2 are, possibly 3, and I'm probably not going to wait until I've actually watched them. And partly, I'm not very good at doing series reviews. Which brings me on to the other one. I'm not quite sure what happened last year. I could have sworn I made a season 1 review. I can't find it. I didn't put it up. I can't find a video of it. I can't even find a script. And I don't delete my script off my to-do document until I've recorded them. So I thought I at least had written a script. So if I do ever find a recording randomly on some USB, then I will edit that and put it up. But I think I just forgot to make it. So apologies, there is no season 1 review. And now season 2's finished, there's no point me just doing a season 1 review. So at some point I'll do my thoughts on Ncuti's entire era. Not sure exactly when, but I will at some point do a video about the entire era. But it won't be episode by episode review of what I thought of each episode of his era, because that's tedious. It will just be a general what I thought of it as a whole. Because otherwise I get bored making it, let alone you watching it. I don't find going episode by episode is very enjoyable. You'll have noticed that the videos that I did do that are quite monotone. The videos I have done that I found are quite boring, so I'll probably just do a more general thoughts and probably include something about my thoughts for the future in that, and I may do War Between the Land and the Sea in the same video, depending when I make this and when that comes out. Again, another review I said I was going to do a very long time ago was what I thought of how Ghosts ended. So a review of the Christmas special, because I think I did do a series review of the final series, but obviously there was still the Christmas special to go. And I never did the Christmas special, although I know there were rumours that they were thinking about doing some sort of film. So I might wait a bit longer and see if that transpires, because then how Ghosts ended isn't true if there's a film, if you like, although it probably would canonically be set prior, because if you've seen the Christmas special, you know it kind of has to be set prior. So I will do some sort of what I thought of how it ended, but if there is anything about a film or an official confirmation of that, so if there is something more about a film, or even they announce what the next thing is, I might tie them together and sort of do how Ghosts end, what I thought of how Ghosts ended, and what I think of the new project that the 6 of them have announced they're doing, or something like that. So I will do that at some point, but I probably need to rewatch the episode first. I haven't watched it in a while. Australian Traitors. I'm not sure if I actually ever said in a video I was going to do it, but I definitely did say in some comments, because I have started posting about Australian Traitors, a few quizzes, a few polls, that sort of thing. But a bit like US Ghosts, I was planning to do a video once I finished the first series. I got 2/3 of the way through it while we were on holiday last Easter. I never finished it. I still remember what had happened. I could continue it. I just haven't got round to it. I'm not quite sure why I forgot. It was just the program I had downloaded when we had dodgy Wi-Fi. So I binged it quite a lot when we were on holiday, and then I've just never finished it since. So I am still intending to finish that. I might rewatch one episode, but I pretty much remember what had happened so far. So I will finish that at some point, but I probably won't do a series review of the first series of Australian Traitors, because I think there's at least one. I think there's at least two on iPlayer, and I know there's also US and New Zealand on iPlayer. And there's a few other international ones I might be able to find on some other apps. I saw something about there's an Indian version on Prime, so I'm gonna look into more versions and probably do a video more of comparing all the different international versions rather than specifically a review of the first series. So I'll do something like that, but I'm not really sure what. And once I've seen at least one series of whatever versions I'm covering, I'll do that. And in a similar vein, once the Celebrity Traitors UK has been on, I think it's due to be on this autumn, then I will probably do something sort of saying, is it better, and pros and cons of it being normal people versus celebrities. I'll probably do some sort of comparison of that. Probably not until the series is finished, so that probably won't be till more like Christmas, but we'll see. I also haven't done any Paradise reviews in a while. I haven't reviewed Beyond Paradise since Series 1. I did my sort of overview of Death in Paradise after last series, about the fact that the last few series had been looking backwards quite a bit, and actually I'm rewatching the series before that right now. I'm realising there's a lot more things that I hadn't even remembered from that series, but I did put a post out after Mervyn's first series saying that had felt fresh and new, so I probably will do some video sort of reiterating that. It will probably be something more along the lines of comparing Death in Paradise to Beyond Paradise to Return to Paradise, which has had one series and is currently filming the second one. So that probably won't be till next year. So depending when I make this, it might be covered series 2. It might only cover series 1. I'd ideally get it up before the new year, because that's when they'll all start, and then I'll have a whole nother series to factor in. So I'll probably do something about all three again. So I've got that planned. And obviously I will be talking about the Harry Potter series when it begins. At the moment, they just keep announcing cast. So they're obviously due to start filming fairly soon if they're announcing cast. So once that starts, I probably will talk about that. So I'm hoping these aren't big plans I'm announcing and I'm going to forget about again. These are all things I'm intending to do, and I'm just sort of keeping you in the loop of these are the things I'm doing, but they are going to be slow burners over the next year or so. I'm not exactly going to try and do weekly videos. That has never worked when I've tried to do that. If you've been subscribed long enough, you know that every time I try weekly videos, I flop instantly. So I'd rather keep the shorts and the polls going regularly, and I just do longer videos sporadically when there's something I want to talk about, or these sorts of ones that I'm planning to talk about, series that I've seen retrospectively, or whatever you want to call it. And I can then do more current things, but I can just do a load of longer ones further down the line. Talking of big plans that I forgot about, I recently discovered that I had a video I recorded August last year that I basically forgot about. I think I sort of had in the back of my head that it had gone up, and then when I was looking through the stuff on my channel recently, I couldn't find it. And then I found the video. Well, I did record it, and it turns out I never edited it and put it up. I think it was just with the chaos of trying to do the sorting one and another video that I will get to in a minute, and then working and returning to college, that I just forgot about it. It just got lost in the mess, and I only recently discovered it had never gone up. Apologies, my light appears to be flickering right now. I have no idea how to fix that, so hopefully it's not too annoying. It looks quite bad in person, but it doesn't seem to be too bad on the screen. So that video basically just got forgotten about. So I am now editing that to put that out, and I've recorded some extra bits that I'm going to sort of stick in to give slightly more recent updates on it. And yeah, I had another video that was due to go up around the same time that I had a lot of technical difficulties with. Partly when I did recorded the screen, it recorded completely the wrong app, and I didn't realise till like 3 days later. So I've never really worked out what to do with that recording. So that video will probably now never see the light of day, but I will reference what it was about at some point and cover what it was about. So a quick personal update as well that I said I was due. I have finished college, and I'm hoping to return to work in the autumn. But I am busy over the summer as well. I mentioned in my Life Update one last year that the summer before I'd been at the World Scout Jamboree. I'm going on another international trip with the Scouts this summer to Madagascar. So for about 3 weeks, I'm going to be in Madagascar over this summer. So this channel will just be ticking over because I'm just going to schedule all the polls and posts. I pretty much have done for most of the time I'm going to be there already. I'm trying to get ahead because I'm not going to have any phone signal, let alone mobile data. So I won't be replying to any comments, anything like that. And if anything goes wrong, the video gets blocked, I won't be able to deal with it. So just so you're aware, if everything goes completely bonkers in those couple of weeks and you're like, why is she not replying? That's why I'm literally out the country with no signal. So when I come back, I'll deal with it. But the polls and shorts, as I said, I have planned until September, and I'm pretty much there with making them and whatever. So, and the longer videos are planned. As I said, I've got a whole list of them here. That was just the highlights. There is a lot more on here that I haven't even mentioned, some of which have been on here for 3 years. So there are a lot of videos I've still got planned, but they're just going to be sporadic, as and when I can do them, and if there's anything more current that I want to address, that will be stuck in as well. So basically, this isn't me saying there's now going to be an influx of videos. This is saying I've got plans, but they're going to take a while to get there. So this isn't me now saying there's going to be an influx of longer videos, I'm going weekly. No, I'm not even going to attempt to say that. We know that that doesn't happen. Every time I say that, I fail. So there are long videos planned. This is an idea of some of them, but they will be sporadic, and probably that list will be most of the next year, bar anything new. But if there's anything that you would be interested in me talking about, or any other videos that you know I said I was going to make and I haven't mentioned, because I'm sure there is something else I probably said in a video I was going to do and I still haven't done, please leave it in the comments below if there's anything else that you want me to talk about. So yeah, long videos will just continue trickling out as and when I can do them. Shorts will be continuing every Friday. Polls will be continuing every 3 days. Quizzes are about to go on another break, just simply because I'm out of the country. I do not have time to come up with that many quizzes before I go. So they are going on another break, and depending on work and whatever, I'll see when they return. So I'm not going anywhere, but things are going to stay slow. Also, any feedback on my shorts and polls is welcome, as they seem to be very up and down. Like, some shorts get 1,000 views overnight, some only get 40 ever. Some polls get like 30, 40 votes, and some polls get 6. So if you want to give any feedback on what sort of ones you like, that would be appreciated, because I'm not quite sure why there's such a disparity. Some of them I'm like, I know the Doctor Who ones are going to get more votes. But there does seem to be a bit of randomness with some of them. So any feedback on those is appreciated. So I'm not going anywhere, but things are going to be slow. This is just to sort of tease some things I've got planned and reassure you I haven't forgotten all those things that 3 years ago I said I was going to do. They are still planned. I will still do them at some point. I haven't forgotten about them. They are still coming. I just haven't done them yet. So it's been a crazy few years, so I'm just going to try and focus on keeping this channel ticking over and doing what I can. So I'll put out that video that I've been editing as soon as possible, and otherwise leave all your thoughts in the comments below. Bye.